I'm a Google Ads guy. What are the common mistakes you find most Google Ads people make?
Conversion tracking that's just nonsense. It's not real numbers. It's not measuring real outcomes. And on a dashboard, it looks absolutely fantastic. And actually, we're in Google Ads specifically, we're getting more and more keyword lists. I don't know if keywords are going to go away. To be honest, if they do, it'll be a while. But I think we are more going towards intent, audiences, what is actually got intent, who your audience is, and that sort of stuff.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Marketist Podcast. My name is Imran Nadir and I'm the founder of Marketist. My guest today has spent 8 years inside Google Ads accounts. First agency side in Manchester, then out on his own in middle of lockdown, which is I should literally say either brave or slightly mad. Since then he has managed tons of millions in ad spend across hundreds of businesses. The good thing, I checked on his LinkedIn recently, he has also had a busy year on stage, Search Day, Hero Conference, and opening the show at Performance MCR. So thank you so much, Ramial Aqeel, for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, wonderful. It is so good to have you, man. Thank you so much.
No worries.
All right, so before we jump on to the questions, I would love to know, you have been on these conferences. What have you been talking about? What is latest in Google Ads?
Okay. Yeah. So my talk in the conferences specifically was around managing small budgets and how to get the most out of them. Because very much in the PPC world, a lot of the strategies are for large budgets, and things often break with small budgets that would perhaps work on a large budget. So my talk was just 15, 20, 30 minutes, dependent on the conference, just sort of talking about that, my experience with it, the mental model I use, and a case study.
So can you summarize your talk in 1 to 2 minutes?
Yeah, so essentially the mental model was around doing less in Google Ads accounts when you have a small budget. So often you'll see people trying to do everything and spread the budget so thin. So lots of keywords, lots of ads, lots of campaigns, lots of locations, lots of moving parts basically. And while that can work on a themed structure in a big account, on a small account it usually breaks because there's just not enough budget to accumulate the data. So in a nutshell, the summary of the talk really was to do less. And if there's something in your campaigns on a small budget account that you cannot explain, then you should consider getting rid of it. And this is the fundamentals actually. So this is nothing fancy. It is just the boring fundamentals, which is the vast majority of the results.
These are the fundamentals people do wrong. The fundamentals make you or break you, right? So I totally understand. Yeah, in Google Ads. So what do you think? What people make mistake? Like, I'm a Google Ads guy, right? You have been working with different businesses, and you have come across and met a lot of people who are into Google Ads. What are the common mistakes you find most Google Ads people make in the campaigns, or in their creating or doing research or anything?
Okay. Yeah, I can't speak for individuals, but I can speak for what I see when I audit accounts. And so often when I audit accounts, one of the key things that I see is conversion tracking that's just nonsense. It's not real numbers. It's not measuring real outcomes. And on a dashboard, it looks absolutely fantastic. It looks like you're doing a great job. But often when you drill down a little bit deeper into that, it's usually not stacking up. And the problem with doing the conversion tracking incorrectly is that you can have a really good structure and a really good setup, and you can do everything right. But if the data to begin with cannot be trusted, then anything downstream pretty much fails, or is suboptimal at least. So yeah, that's one of the biggest observations. Obviously, fragmentation. So I still see fragmentation, surprisingly. So this will be like close variants split into campaigns or ad groups and that sort of stuff instead of being consolidated. Just little things like that. And then obviously, like I love looking at wasted spend, and most accounts I audit do have some wasted spend, whether it's using the wrong match types or not having enough guardrails in place or spreading yourself too thin. Almost always those things will result in waste.
All right, so let me. Can you take us back to April 2021, mid lockdown? Everybody
Yeah.
is working from home, and you left the agency and then you started your own. What was the actual moment? What made you take that decision?
Yeah, well, I was planning on doing it anyway. Like, so when I first started agency life in 2018, pretty quickly I realized there was a serious opportunity to actually do this as a freelancer. So I didn't think about it too much at the time. I had one or two clients on the side that I just worked on in my evenings and spare time. But then obviously came lockdown. There's a lot of uncertainty. I remember at the time I bought my first house just like a few months before. So I had a mortgage to pay. I'd lost responsibilities. I'd moved out of my parents' home. So yeah, and then there was sort of a stage where I was getting a few more clients privately on the side. It still wasn't enough to replace my income. And then I sort of left the last agency I was at, and I was interviewing for new roles. Confident I was going to get a job, but then I sort of just sat and asked myself, like, maybe now it's the opportunity to do it. I'm always a believer that recessions and times of uncertainty are often actually the golden periods to take advantage of and to start things, start a new business, buy a new property, etc., etc. Just because there's less volatility in certain areas. So yeah, I mean, I just went for it. I was scared, of course. I wasn't certain it was going to work. I consulted with my family, and everybody told me not to do it. They said, wait 1 year, wait for things to be a bit more stable with the economy and this and that. But yeah, I mean, I thought business owners need help more than ever in a time like this. So for me, I saw it on the flip side. I saw it as an opportunity. But yeah, it was a risk for sure. I took a risk. I took a big gamble. Um, but yeah,
The risk.
luckily it paid off.
Yeah, of course, it was a lot of people do not take risks, so they always tell you not to do it because they have never done it. That is the one
Mm.
reason the people say that don't do it. You'll not be able to do it. You'll not be able to make it like that. But once you do it,
Mm.
like I did myself, I was doing job. I did another job. I did another job. Then I left. Then I all went into freelancing, and everybody was like same story, like you are telling me things, right? All right, so I see that on your LinkedIn that you are building something with AI. I saw that somewhere like um, micros, 80/20 brain, PPCOS, your own SOPs. What does like each layer do, and what are you building actually?
So I'm working on an AI system that I used within my own business. So it is Micro's is 80/20 brain and PPC Hub's PPCOS system integrated together with a little bit of my own things as well. And this is basically a system that I run on Cursor, which is a development environment, which allows me to basically save a lot of time. It allows me to execute or analyze various different things that are part of my day to day a lot quicker and usually with a better precision. And this isn't as simple as just going onto Claude or ChatGPT and typing in a prompt in the chat. This is a proper system built on skills and standard operating procedures that the AI uses, memorizes, etc.
Wonderful. I wish you the best in that. So a lot of people come to
Thanks.
me and ask me, Imran, you talk about you talk to many people in your podcast. We would love to understand how they are using AI in their system, in their Google Ads flow, what they are doing, how they are doing it, how they are making the most out of it. Because people only use ChatGPT or Claude for the chat purpose or for just for the results purpose? How are you doing something differently out of this? And the people who are watching, I do have audience who are into Google Ads, and they would love to understand what Ramal is doing in that space.
Of course. So look, there's nothing wrong with using ChatGPT or Claude. So people who are doing that, please continue to do so. What I'm doing differently is the system I've built. There is a PPC knowledge database, which I don't even know how many files it has. There's hundreds of files, and each file it plays its own role. So there's a list of SOPs, standard operating procedures, which are used for different things within the ad account, such as analyzing auction insights or build a high converting landing page or create an irresistible offer or improve the expected CTR. There is a document for every facet of our job. So if I get a request from a client or I have an alert on my side or something isn't right, I will run the relevant SOP in my system. The system is also connected to the Google Ads API. So the system sees my Google MCC. So it can pull account information in real time and basically just help me execute tasks or analyze data a lot quicker. Another way I've used it, and actually I've used it more for my bottlenecks, stuff that used to take me way too much time, like reporting. Now, super easy because it's connected to the Google Ads API. It will do my reporting every single month automatically. So on the first of every month, my reporting is done. I don't need to sit here for days and days manually writing reports, which I used to do for many, many years. So that is just one or two examples, but it is very, very comprehensive. I would recommend your audience to go to the PPC Mastery YouTube channel as well, because there will be some live demonstrations on there of. There's a talk that I did as well, and there are some other members from the community that showed their AI systems and how they're using that on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, lots more value there potentially.
Yeah, totally. I do follow PPC Mastery, and I just saw that you also write for them, and you also write for some other blog as well, right?
Yeah, so with PPC Mastery, I'm a moderator in the hub. So that's just sort of answering questions, generally just being there for the community. I write for, I recently started writing for PPC Hero. They're the company that also run the events.
So, what it takes to go to such platform that they let you do it? Like, is that experience you have? Like, are you doing some kind of personal branding around it, or what exactly is that? What we should do to get into the places you have been to?
Yeah, so I think it is just experience and networking. Experience can just happen with time and the projects that you work on, but also I think mostly for me it was just getting myself out there, being willing to help, throwing my hat in the ring and putting my hand up and just genuinely being available to the community as a whole, whether that's in the hub or whether it's for something like PPC Hero. And by doing that, I guess I met the right people at the right time and made good relationships, which obviously compounded and allowed me to be where I am today.
So, being in here, being a Google Ads guy, how should I make those connections? How should I network with people? Like, I see that you have like around 17,000 followers on LinkedIn, and a lot of good people do refer you. Like, they tag you that, okay, this is the guy who is good in Google Ads.
Hmm.
How to get that space? Like, if you want me to, like, as a guide, like anybody who's just me, anybody who's watching as well, how would you do it? Like, can you take me through the step-by-step process? Like, these are things you should do in your personal branding or content strategy, like you have done it to get that number and to get in that space or industry.
Yeah, so for me, it all sort of started a few years ago when I joined the PPC Hub. Before that, I was very quiet. Wasn't really active on LinkedIn. I was just a guy in my spare bedroom running ads for my clients. When I joined the hub, I saw this big world of PPC. There's thousands of members in there. That in itself was just, great networking to begin with. Then I started going to industry events, so stuff like Performance MCR, Hero Conference, PPC Summit, lots and lots and lots of more. And I think there's actually industry events everywhere. So I know a lot of your audiences in South Asia. There will be a ton of events in those countries as well. So it's not necessary for them to travel across the world. But yeah, lots of industry events where I just kept meeting people, kept putting myself out there. I got heavily involved in the PPT hub, so I made lots and lots of friends there. And then, it was just all the networking just started to compound. Friends became friends. They introduced me to other people. And usually it's almost like a circle of life thing, isn't it? It's just the more you get yourself out there, the more people you meet, and the more doors potentially open for you. As for LinkedIn, I was posting consistently for about 2 years. So that was just me sharing my knowledge and sharing my case studies and my experiences that I've had with clients, with campaigns, and that sort of stuff. And to be honest, I didn't expect to reach 17,000 or yeah, whatever it is, this quickly. But I think it just compounded. I guess people liked what I had to say to some extent. So I'm not entirely sure, but I think the one thing that I would say works was being consistent, because not every post, a lot of posts failed and didn't do well, others did really well, but I never gave up. And I think that would be my message to people is to not give up and just to be consistent and keep going.
All right. So at this point of the time, is Ramal solopreneur, or he has an agency, or he has a team members? How are you working? How do you do um, the problem? How do you fix the problem of lead gen? Because it is not my problem. It is not one person problem. It's the entire
Mhm.
world's problem. How do you do it for yourself?
I am
Then
mostly
after,
solo.
yeah, okay.
I am mostly solo, so it is just me. You could say I'm a hybrid agency freelancer if you want, because I do work with clients at volume, but it is just me. I have my AI system. I do use some contractors from time to time, so I don't have any sort of full-time employees, but I do work with people in the industry on an ad hoc basis. Sometimes people from South Asia as well. Sometimes people from Europe, people I've networked with, etc. So that's the structure at the moment, and that's just sort of how it's always been. But yeah, I'd say most of it is just me.
So the next question was, how do you solve the lead gen problem for yourself? How do you generate Google Ads clients for yourself?
I've never done any lead generation or outreach in 6 years. Honestly, most of it's just been referrals, which shocks a lot of people. I've had some clients from LinkedIn, which is obviously my networking and personal branding. Some from sort of industry events, but I would say generally, majority have been clients referring me to other clients or industry peers referring me to clients, and then I do a good job for A, and A refers me to B, and B refers me to C, and that's just how it's always been. I don't know if that's sustainable, but it's worked so far, and yeah.
So
But I'm always open.
what is the LTV of your clients? So like lifetime value. How many months they go with you? Like how many years? What is your system be like for that?
That's a really good question. I was actually trying to measure this not long ago, and it was quite challenging to measure just because because I work mainly with small businesses and there's lots of clients and lots of little variables. But I think top of my head, I don't have my system open right now, but top of my head, it was about 20 months, I think, on
20.
average. The average client stayed would be 20 months, which I'll take, which I'm very happy about.
Yeah. All right. So if you're saying that you have like LTV of 20 months, right? What is the churn rate, right? Like how much percentage leave you? Like how many clients?
I've actually got my system now. So annual churn was about 20%.
All right. So you are focusing a lot on small businesses, small
Yeah.
like people who are starting out, right?
Not necessarily starting out, but yeah, I would say the small to medium sized businesses. So I don't work with the really, really big household name brands.
Mm. So
But
have
I
you?
work.
Yeah, please complete. Yeah, please complete.
No, 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 carry on.
Okay, so have you focused on one niche, or you just generally provide services to anybody who comes to you? Like, do you have system in place, or you just play around like anybody who just comes to you and you just provide the services? Like this is the major concern, not just mine, but I have this small community of 300 around people that is
Hmm.
called Google Ads Club. So I have around 300 only Google Ads people. We talk about these things. These are small issues we face on the daily basis. So do you have like do you focus on niche for any industry or something or any area, or you just provide service to anybody?
I don't provide service to anybody because not all businesses are suitable
Hmm.
for ads. But I am a generalist, so that means that I've worked with all types of industries that typically would run on Google Ads. I am mostly lead gen, but I do have strong e-commerce experience as well. And mostly I work with SMEs, although agency life and especially when I was contracting after that, I did work with some very, very, very big budgets. So I see myself as a generalist.
Mhm. So a lot of clients come to you. What are the common problems they have and they come to you? Like, do they have like a very common problem in business industry is that we have a lead. We are running ads but not generating leads. That is one problem. Another one is we are running ads but our lead cost is like skyrocketing. It's too much. So, what are other common problems you face like on daily basis? Like people come to you for.
Yeah, so I think the most common observation that I get from clients is that they're investing X into their advertising and they don't feel like they're getting a return on it.
Mm.
Um, that's classic, very typical. They're not getting a return, or they're not getting enough leads, or they're getting leads, or they're not of good quality, etc., etc. Always usually outcome based.
Mm. All right. So you said that I saw your CTA on LinkedIn is you provide free account audit. Is this doable? Like, does this bring you money in? Like, how many audits you do like on monthly basis? Do people convert after that audit, or like what is the ratio? If you can share or talk about that.
I offer the free audit to every lead that I get, and I do that in the form of a live screen share. So when a call like this, I will get access to the account. I will share my screen and I will go through it live on the call, and I will hopefully within 10 or 15 minutes just show them where you're going wrong and perhaps where you're leaking budget. I like doing it this way because not only is it efficient,
Mm.
not just for me, but also for the prospect. It also just highlights everything very, very quickly without a big dashboard, without a big PDF. And actually, I think clients like it because then they can actually see you in the platform in real time. And if you know what you're doing and you're confident in the platform and you're confident communicating what you see in the platform, usually that's encouraging for a prospect.
So you're not running ads for yourself. You are totally like in your network, and they are recommending you. So your main source of lead gen is your LinkedIn profile, right? Not anything else,
Yeah. You
mostly,
could
right?
say that.
Mhm.
You could say LinkedIn, a little bit of the communities that I'm part of, and the networking of it.
All right. So when you started your freelance career, like after you left the agency world and you started freelancing, what was the challenges you faced and how you overcame to those, and what were the mistakes you did? And today you say, I wish I did not do this, but you did
Mm.
anyway.
I think the biggest challenge for me was the loneliness because I went from working in big team environments and having lots of colleagues and co-workers to just being in an empty room by myself all day, every day for weeks and months on end. That was tough because you genuinely just don't have anyone to bounce off. I don't know everything. I don't think my brain is not an encyclopedia. I don't think there's anyone that can say that. Like, there's always ways you can be better. There's always other people that are better at XYZ, and you might be better at ABC, etc. So that was the biggest one for me. And I think because of that, the mistake I made was I probably neglected my training. This is going back 6 years. So I probably neglected my development and my ability to keep up to date with the industry, especially in my first year of freelancing, just because I was so focused on survival. But then I think I combated that when I joined the hub, obviously the PPC hub by PPC Mastery. That sort of solved those problems because I went into this really big community. There was lots of friends, lots of colleagues, and training was no longer an issue because the subscription constantly kept me up to date with everything. I'm still in a room by myself though, so that hasn't changed. But I at least have the community. I have more of the network now to at least bounce off.
All right. So my next question is about the future of Google Ads specifically. How do you
Yep.
see it? What things have changed in Google Ads? Like, you can go technical. We have like 6, 7 minutes. Yeah. Right. What was the things before? What was working before is not working right now? How do you see the future of Google Ads?
Yeah, so I mean, look, like fragmentation used to work really well. So back in when I was doing it in 2018 at agencies, it was all about single keyword ad groups and spreading things out and maximum control. Um, that might still work in a very small number of cases today, but it actually goes against the way the algorithm optimizes now. So it optimizes around larger data sets, consolidated and aggregated data, which is why consolidation and keeping things a bit more simple is so prevalent. But also, I think with the rise of AI, I think specialists that will adapt and find the ability to use AI within their job are the ones that perhaps are going to have the easiest journey. Um, and yeah, that like the use of AI doesn't have to mean you just let AI do everything. It means that it's basically human plus AI equal better than either of them alone. So yeah, I think integrating those systems, but also T-shaped specialisms. Like if we go back 10 years, there used to be. I actually remember this in the teams. Like we would have a team for tracking, we would have a team for search, we would have a team for display, we would have a team for shopping. But in the modern day, I think it's
One
the
person.
PPC strategist is having a core skill set and then a strong awareness of a selection of different skill sets. So you might be really good at lead gen, but then you have proficiency with tracking analytics or landing pages or meta. So I think a blend of those two things, T-shape specialism and also integrating AI workflows into your daily work, is the direction of the industry. And actually, we're in Google Ads specifically, we're getting more and more keywordless.
Exactly.
I don't know if keywords are going to go away. To be honest, if they do, it'll be a while. But I think we are more going towards intent audiences. What is actually got intent? Who your audience is and that sort of stuff. The days of having hundreds of keywords in an account is slowly being phased out.
Exactly. Like you mentioned, that keywords are going away. What I believe in, that's my belief. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure. I think previously we were targeting the keywords like plumber near me, but now
Mm.
we target the modern keywords will be like plumber near me who has 5 stars and it can serve 24 hours and come to me very fast and easily available. Now that is the question,
Well,
right?
you might write that into ChatGPT or an LLM because it's such a long string, and that will often recommend you a business. I mean, the point is searches are getting longer.
Mm.
I think there was a study I seen, I can't remember by who, but searches on Google are getting longer and longer because users are looking for more and more context. And I think that's where the intent comes from,
All right. So
is
if
finding the difference.
if Google is doing AI in everything, Google is trying to automate everything, like they are taking the control away. How do you think Google Ads people will survive? How do you think we will be able to provide services? Because any business could just run ads themselves. Where will we be?
Yeah, it's a fair observation, but then it applies for anything, right? I can get AI to do my bookkeeping, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to hire an accountant because
Mm.
an accountant will know more about tax than I ever will. And it essentially is the same for this. Like our industry is now going towards strategy and analysis. And what I see a lot of good specialists do is actually go out of the ads account and work closely with business owners, understand their business, understand their customers, the audience they're trying to target, LTV, all of those sort of metrics, and really, really understanding what's moving the needle, and then integrating and implementing all of that back into the ads account. So yeah, I think yeah, sure, the role has changed. It's not the same role that it was 10 years ago, where we were sitting there manually managing bids and building constant copy, but now it's more. There will still be an element of that in the ads interface and making changes and building campaigns. That will never change, in my opinion. But I think the role of a PPC manager will be more and more strategic, which
Yeah,
I think is actually more important because anybody can go in the ads. It's like you said, right? Anyone can go in there and build a campaign and
yeah.
change a keyword and write an ad, but actually having that strategic knowledge and the ability to analyze the business and feed that back into the algorithm is a skill set.
Mm. I believe that we will be doing like 30% of Google Ads platform and 70% business. Then we'll be able to do the best out, we'll get the best results out of Google Ads. Else, we'll just keep doing it and burning money, right? All right, so I know that we are at the time. And before we go, I would really request you to share few like your life lesson or anything you want to share with a person who is learning Google Ads now, and like any suggestion, any quotation, any lesson, whatever.
Okay. So, I mean, look, the main lesson is that you should just keep learning. Like, Google Ads changes so fast. And the biggest lesson for me, and obviously, like I said, in my first year, I neglected my learning and training a lot. I fell behind for sure, but that will never happen again. So I would say, yeah, never ever stop learning because you can always be better. It doesn't matter if you generated a 10x ROI or you generated 1,000 leads for $7 or whatever it is. You can always be better. Maybe you won't get better results for that client, but you can always be better as a specialist. So I urge everyone to just keep learning, keep learning new things, and keep experimenting. And yeah, you do that, the results will follow.
All right. For the people who are watching, just go to LinkedIn and follow Ramial Aqeel and ask the question, the right questions, and tell him that you watched my video, then you went to him, and I'm sure he will respond to you, but do not ask stupid questions
I
or
will.
generic questions, right? Thank you so much, Ramial, for taking the time out. I'm
No
really,
problem.
it's great. It's glad to have you here, but I wish that we would have more time to talk about, because I had these all questions. I just asked you like in Urdu we say mote mote questions, right? So like summarized versions of questions. We would have like discussed more things, and I would love to have you another time whenever you are free. We just sit
Sure.
here and discuss the things, what is on my mind, what is on your mind, and totally. And I'm sure we will be learning a lot from you. Thank you so much again, and yeah,
Thank you for having me. And thank
thank
you
you,
everyone for watching.
thank you so much.